I'll order the meeting of the Planning and Economic Development Committee for February 5th, 2024. Would the deputy clerk please take roll call?
Chairman Sipes.
Here.
Trustee Stromberg.
Here.
Trustee Bogey.
Here.
Mr. Trickey.
Here.
Ms. Miller.
Here.
The deputy clerk is present. The attorney is present.
We have a quorum. First on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from January 2nd, 2024. Do I have a motion and a second?
So
So
made.
be.
I have a motion by trustee Bogey and a second by Mr. Trickey. Are there any corrections or additions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Minutes have been approved. Next on the agenda is ordinance 07-24, a variance for a side setback requirement for an accessory structure, 7713 North Second Street. May I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by trustee Stromberg and a second by Mrs. Miller. Do we have staff report, please?
Yes, this property owner only desires to build a one-car garage where one had previously been located at the end of a long driveway that runs inside the southern property boundary. So this garage would be right at that side property boundary rather than abiding by the required setback distance of 3 feet. As I said, there had previously been a garage in this location. This home does not have a garage at all now, and staff feels that a new garage here would not have a negative impact on the surroundings, so we recommend approval of the variance. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted to recommend approval as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the applicant present or would like to address the committee? Seeing none. Can we have roll call, please?
Trustee Stromberg.
Aye.
Trustee Bogey.
Aye.
Mr. Trickey.
Aye.
Ms. Miller.
Aye.
Chairman Sipes.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
So ordinance 07-24 will go to the February 20th with a positive recommendation to the board meeting. Next is ordinance 08-24, a variance from the regulation and prohibits more than 3 accessory structures, 620 Harlem Road. May I have a motion and a second?
So be.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Trickey and a second by trustee Stromberg. We have staff report, please?
Yeah, and I'll actually be reporting on all 3 of these items that are related to the same property at the same time.
Okay.
After a complaint of chickens being kept at this property was received by staff, we discovered that there were also issues with some of the unpermitted and non-conforming accessory structures here at the property. There are too many structures. Our code states that there shall be no more than 3 accessory structures at a residential property, but here they have 4. It appears the original garage was probably constructed when the house was built in 1942. However, the village has no record of ever issuing permits for the other 3 structures, which are all relatively new. The area of the structures added together exceeds what is allowed as well. The area should not exceed the footprint of the home, which is only 781 square feet, but these structures together have a total area of nearly 1,280 square feet. And one of the structures is too close to the side property boundary, the chicken run structure, which the applicant wishes to keep, even though they've gotten rid of the chickens, removed the chickens from the property. That chicken run is right on the side property boundary that abuts the CVS property, rather than the required 6-foot setback here. Staff is recommending denial of the variance to keep 4 accessory structures and the variance for the 0-foot setback for the chicken run structure. We are, however, recommending approval of the variance for the area of accessory structures to exceed the footprint of the house. This lot is nearly half an acre in size, and limiting accessory structures area to no more than 781 square feet, we believe is too restrictive in this case. However, this recommendation is with the conditions that would require the unpermitted shed and the chicken run to be removed. And only the 2 detached garages can remain at the property, which equal an area of 1,068 square feet. The shed and the chicken run would need to be removed by May 4th per our recommended conditions, and permits for the larger garage and a driveway to access this garage would need to be applied for and issued also by May 4th. Driveways are always required to be completed within a year of the permit being issued for the driveway. And the Planning and Zoning Commission voted consistent with staff's recommendations to recommend denial of ordinance 824, approval of ordinance 924 with our recommended conditions, and denial of ordinance 1024. And the applicant is present. Thank you.
Thank you. Does the applicant president would like to address the committee? Please state your name and address, please.
Diane Minahan, 620 Harlem Road. I do have a permit for the back garage that was put up 18 years ago in 2006. And I only applied for 2 variances, not 3. I don't know what the third one was for.
It was in the variance for having 4 structures where we limit it to 3. The variance for the total area of structures
What's
And-
the fourth?
and the variance for the setback for the chicken run being so close to that side
Oh, that's
property
a
line.
separate, okay. All right. But I do have a permit for that back garage, and it was approved by the village.
You're gonna get rid of this shed.
I already got rid of the chickens, and the shed and the run will be gone once, weather permitting, so I don't mess up the septic, because I have to have a truck come in there and haul it out of there. And you can clearly see there's a driveway there on it. I drive back there maybe 5 times a year, if that, because it's just a storage basically.
This is a better picture. I would show them that.
Yeah, I met all the legal requirements in 2006 for that rear garage. And I don't know what all the driveway thing is about. So when we put the back garage in, we had to put gutters and gravel drive in, or he would not approve the inspection. So that being said, any questions for me?
Is there any questions for the applicant? Thank you. Seeing none,
Same picture you've seen.
you guys want to look
Can
at
you
it?
show that picture of these folks over here? Well,
It's been there 18 years.
Yeah, here's the permit. Anybody like to see it?
Yeah, I'd like to see the permit as well because we didn't have one in our file.
And I spoke with the gentleman today, the assessor. And
Chief assessor.
yeah, he did tell me that, he did not tell you that we agreed on ripping down the front garage. I was
can
told
you show
by,
that to Carrie?
I was told by Carrie that.
Carrie.
Carrie over there.
We did not agree on ripping down the front garage. That would just decrease the value of your property. So,
Yeah, this actually isn't a permit. This is
Well, on the
from the
next-
assessors
yeah. the
data
next
that
there is.
they have
The
on a
next
record.
page.
Okay.
You can see the garage is still back there. I
Yeah.
mean, 18 years later.
Let me check this.
This
Yeah.
What did he tell you when you talked to him
Yeah.
about back then, they didn't have all the, what was he saying?
It's not a permit? Well, that's what the assessor sent me today.
Yeah, that's
Well,
actually,
yeah,
Chief assessor.
The assessor doesn't issue permits and it
He
looks,
just sent me a copy of what he had.
yeah, it looks to me on this page that the original garage is crossed out and the larger garage was in its place, like
Right.
I had reported in the staff report in your packets.
But the larger garage isn't right there next to the house.
No, it ended up further back. And
Correct.
that is not a location that the village ever approved.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have put it back there.
Like I said, this isn't a permit and we have no record of ever approving a garage in that location.
Okay, well, you need to recheck your records because there
For
is.
18 years, it's been okay, correct? Correct.
We didn't know about it.
Oh,
In 18 years?
but you found out now.
We did because we were at the property.
Right. Let's stay focused on addressing the board. Do you have anything, the committee, do you have anything further to provide? Any further
Is there
information?
any other paperwork?
No, that's about it.
Are there any other questions for the applicant?
Any other questions? Any questions for staff or
Thank you. You might ask if there's anyone else in the crowd. Thank you.
Mr. Tricky has a question.
For me?
I would kind of like to, for the board, I'm all in favor of staff as far as if the applicant is going to get rid of the chicken run, which is a dog run, whatever it is, and the small building and Carrie, correct me if I'm wrong by understanding this, the village is okay with the big garage, the existing garage. It's just they have 1 year to install a driveway. The other
they have-
two items have to go away.
That's right. Our recommendation is that they can keep the 2 detached garages,
And she
but they
has
would have to,
offered that to get rid of the 2.
Mhm.
So I would like to make a motion, we do what staff is recommending.
Whoa. We have a motion pending
Okay,
on ordinance 0824.
okay,
And in order to achieve keeping the 2 large garages only,
okay,
you would vote no on the current pending motion, 0824.
okay.
You would vote, after discussion, you would vote yes on 0924. That would allow them to keep the 2 garages. And you would vote no on 10-24, correct?
that's right.
Yes.
So we already have 1 pending motion. No on the first and last one, first and third one. Yes on the middle one allows them to keep the 2 large garages, but they will have to put in a driveway.
Even though there's one there.
It's not a hard surface driveway.
It's gravel.
That's not a hard surface driveway. Hard surface driveway is blacktop or concrete.
I understand that, but it was put in by, you guys told us we had to put it in.
Okay.
Or they wouldn't approve the
That's
inspection
condition of the,
of the permit.
that's the condition
Of the
of
variance.
the variance.
Yeah, without grandfathering. I mean, it's been there for 18
Yeah,
years.
excuse me, you're out of order. If you want to come up and speak, we'll allow you to speak when she's done. Just wait, are you finished?
I guess I am.
Okay, thank
No,
you.
you're not.
Please state your name.
My
and
name's
address for
Robin
the record.
Baldwin,
Thank you.
and
Your address?
my understanding is that when, 18 years ago, and if you can't find your permit, how would that be our fault? How would that
Well,
be the
I-
citizens' fault?
I don't know how
18.
much
Excuse
you want
me,
to get in.
you have the right to make a statement.
Okay,
And
you're asking someone that is 64 years old to put in a $30,000 driveway when in speaking with you before, she had said, well, the reason you have to have a hard driveway is so there's no ruts. This piece of property is the most well-maintained piece of property in that entire stretch from CVS to Revere Street. And you're asking a 64-year-old woman to put in approximately a $30,000 driveway on something that's 18 years old, that has been 0 complaints on the property. I think that's a little harsh and a little, I don't know, overbearing. It's weaponizing this department, or this building and group here, and that's not fair to the citizens. When you can go right around the corner and people have storage containers for garages, no driveways, tarps over stuff. This is the most well-maintained piece of property. And it just feels like this is personal on somebody. She's agreed to take the shed down. She's agreed to take the run down. She was not looking, she didn't get a building permit for it to begin with because it wasn't built. We brought it in. We never thought we'd have to have a building permit to put something on our own property. And to ask for someone to put a hard driveway in at approximate from Harlem Road to the back, when clearly you said the reason for this was because you didn't want ruts in people's yards. That's what you said. And there's no ruts. There's no ruts. And this would be a financial hardship on someone on a fixed income to have to put a driveway in on the most well-maintained piece of property in that block. I just ask that you reconsider the driveway because she does, all she has to do is kill the grass around it, but you can clearly see there is a drive back there. And it's not something she accesses daily. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we'll be voting on ordinance 08-24, and that's, take roll call on 0-8-24.
Trustee Bogie,
Nay.
Mr. Tricky,
Nay.
Ms. Miller,
Nay.
Chairman Sipes,
Nay.
Trustee Stromberg.
Nay.
5 nays, no ayes.
Okay, next is ordinance 09-24, variance from accessory building size regulations at 620 Harlem Road. May I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
I have a motion by trustee Stromberg and a second by Mr. Tricky. We've had staff report. Is there any questions or discussions?
Just to be clear, this is the one that had a positive recommendation from the
Yes.
Planning and Zoning Commission and a positive recommendation from staff.
With the conditions.
With the conditions. Would you have roll call, please?
Mr. Tricky,
Aye.
Ms. Miller,
Aye.
Chairman Sipes,
Aye.
Trustee Stromberg,
Aye.
Trustee Bogie.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
So ordinance 09-24 will go to the February 20th board meeting with a positive recommendation. So next is ordinance 10-24, variance for side setback requirements for an accessory structure, 620 Harlem Road. We have a motion and a second.
Second.
I have a motion by Mrs. Miller and a second by Mr. Tricky. We've had staff report. Any questions or discussions? Seeing none, can we have roll call, please?
Ms. Miller,
Nay.
Chairman Sipes,
Nay.
Trustee Stromberg,
Nay.
Trustee Bogie,
Nay.
Mr. Tricky,
Nay.
5 ayes, or 5 nays, no ayes.
So ordinance 10-24 will go to the February 20th board meeting with a negative recommendation. Next on the agenda is reports. Are there any reports? Seeing none, next is public comment. Is anyone in the audience would like to address the committee for the good of the village? Seeing none, next is adjournment. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
So made. Second.
You have a motion by by trustee Stromberg and a second by Mr. Tricky. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Keep the mic on.